So what about digging into past lives then to figure out what's happening?
So past lives are very interesting. We don't live a life here on Earth and just die and go sit on a cloud and play the harp forever. That would be awesome, right? But we come here with the total combined experiences of our soul in each incarnation. On this, we can reincarnate on this planet. We can reincarnate on other planets. Even our lives between lives, my lifetime between this lifetime and my next lifetime, we're still having these experiences. So when we can look into, if I've got a blockage that keeps coming up over and over and over, sometimes a past life regression can heal and that blockage by opening up an awareness. Let's say it's a money problem. Maybe in a past, I do a past life regression, and maybe in a past life, my current life cousin was, the rival tribe that stole our property. And everything was taken away. Or maybe I stole somebody's property and it was taken away. So this is where past lives can really, really be helpful. I did a past life regression that was actually kind of interesting. Same thing about manifestation. This guy wanted to stop using hard drugs. And he turned 40 years old. He'd been doing every hard drug known to man. I can't even believe he's alive. And he started when he was 14. And he wanted to do a past life regression because he wanted to figure out why. And he wanted to make sure he stopped using drugs, that he would not relapse. And I thought, wow, that was really interesting. And not only that, but it really takes a big person to come to those conclusions. Like maybe there was something else. And we go into this regression, and all of a sudden he drops in, and I have a permission to share this story, by the way. He drops in into this really low voice, and the first words out of his mouth were, "I was a very, very bad man." I'm like, oh, that's going to be interesting. I'd never had anybody say that to me before. And in this process, he was a drug dealer during the era of Al Capone in Chicago. And he was a white guy dealing drugs he had a target, 14-year-old Black boys. Think about that. And in that lifetime, he did a lot of damage. I think the damage that he did in that Chicago area, and even echoes out, still continues, because drug addictions are still a really big deal. But in this lifetime, his very first drug dealer was discovered was at the age of 14, a Black kid, and my client was white. That was his first drug dealer. So that was literally the same, different side of the same coin playing through. Once he realized what he did and he could start atoning for it, things shifted for him quite readily. But that's a huge burden.
Literally, the forces that control everything saying, okay, let's see how you like it.
Yes, right? I did another past life regression, a Native American man who was trying to overcome addictions too. And in a previous life, he was a white general or a colonel or something, moving Native Americans across the United States plains, relocating them, and he was horribly abusive. And in this lifetime, he had to undergo the hardships that he put other people through. Now, most past lives aren't that brutal, the regressions, but they can come out that way. But it gives us a perspective as to what we need to heal.